The west of Duddon Sands wind farm is being developed as a joint venture between Dong Energy and Scottish Power Renewables. Comprising a total of 108 turbines, each capable of generating 3.6 megawatts of power, west of Duddon Sands is set to become one of the UK's largest offshore wind farms. Located 14 kilometres off the British coast in the Irish Sea, the wind farm will have a total capacity of 389 megawatts and will ultimately supply power to more than 300,000 UK homes. From an operational base on the Cumbrian coast at Barrow-in-Furness, preparations for the wind farm commenced in the spring of 2012, and first power will be exported to the UK's national grid by fall 2013. Work began in early 2012 with the development of a new bespoke installation base within the Belfast Harbour complex in Northern Ireland. At Heysham in northwest England, the land cable connection to the national grid will be installed in 7 sections, starting from the coast and ultimately connecting to a new build substation located due south of the existing national grid infrastructure. The export cable installation will be carried out by the Stemad Spirit using the Sea Stallion 4 DB plough. Once the Stemad Spirit is in position, the Sea Stallion 4 is lowered to the seabed and the cable is passed through it at low tide and then anchored at the shoreline. At high tide, the Stemad Spirit is refloated again, ready to begin cable installation. During installation, due to the seabed conditions, the Sea Stallion will bury the cable at a depth of 1 to 2 meters below the seafloor. There will be 2 export cables, each one comprising a 9-kilometre section and 32-kilometre section. At the crossing location, the plough is lifted onto the deck of the Stemat Spirit some 75 metres before the cable to be crossed. The Stemat Spirit then continues to lay the cable over the separation layer. Once 75 metres past the crossing, the cable is passed into the plough once again, and the plough lowered to the seafloor to continue onto the offshore substation. The power generated from the completed wind farm will be directed through a purpose-built offshore substation. The substation is transported on a barge in 2 sections. Once on site, the Rambiz heavy lift barge is used to lift both the structural jacket and the substation topside. The starboard crane on board the Rambiz first lifts and lowers the jacket to the seafloor. Once the jacket is in situ, piling commences using the onboard mobile crane and piling hammer. Once all 4 piles are installed and grouted, the Rambiz lifts the substation topside onto the jacket, and it is then welded into place. Back at Belfast Harbour, both the monopiles and transition pieces are readied for transportation. Jacked up at quayside, the Pacific Orca will use its own onboard crane to lift and load 5 monopiles and 5 transition pieces before sailing to the offshore installation site. Sail-out time from Belfast to the wind farm will be approximately 12 hours. Once the Pacific Orca arrives on site, it jacks up to the required installation height. Using the pile gripper on board the Pacific Orca, the first monopile is upended before being lowered to the seabed so that hammering can commence. When the cable export hole on the monopile reaches a point 1 metre above the seafloor, the hammering is stopped. The transition piece is then lifted and placed onto the monopile, and grouting completed. Finally, a protective cover is put in place prior to the installation of the wind turbine. A network of infield cables is put in place to link each of the 108 turbines to the offshore substation. Installation of these cables will be carried out by the MV Sia. The cable is laid onto the surface of the seabed and then jetted down at a later date. Back at the harbour in Belfast, the sea installer is loaded with 8 complete turbines. The tower sections are connected together on the quayside and loaded as one single piece using the onboard crane. Again, sail out to the wind farm will take 12 hours. When the sea installer arrives on site, it jacks up and prepares to install the wind turbine. Weighing 160 tons, the tower is lowered into place first, and then the nacelle is added before the 3 blades are finally installed, one by one. With a total diameter of 120 meters, or as long as a football field, these massive blades will ensure the efficient harnessing of the wind. The turbine installation sequence has been planned to ensure that all 108 turbines will be operational by the end of 2014. By then, the UK's newest offshore wind farm, and one of the largest ever built, will stand as testament to the strategic vision and engineering skill of Dong Energy and Scottish Power Renewables.